Good afternoon. Today on Business Success in Six with Stacie, I have Mark Stoner, owner of Ashbuster Chimney Services. Mark, thanks for jumping on today.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure.
It is my pleasure, truly. We got to speak a little bit before, and I'm really excited for you to share your story with our clients and community. So if you don't mind, I'm going to ask you 6 questions. Is that okay?
Yes, please do.
All right, cool. When people ask you how you describe your business, how do you actually describe it?
Well, chimney sweeping is a funny conversation starter. A lot of people don't realize we're still around. People think of the Victorian age or the old days of dirty people and little boys that might sweep chimneys. Back in the day, the chimney master used to have small children that literally went up the chimney and swept it. Well, that's back in the day, but today we're more of chimney technicians. And when you burn a fire in your fireplace, that can be a scary situation. So we give people peace of mind when you're getting ready to light that fire in the middle of your living room, that when you do that, it's been checked out and it's not going to carry over into the structure, catch your floor on fire or the walls on fire, because honestly, that's what happens a lot with fireplaces that are not maintained or not installed correctly.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for that work you do too, and for the historical side of it as well. I always think of Mary Poppins, but you're right. Like, and I had a friend whose house burnt down about a decade ago, and it's very, very scary. So thank you for the work that you do. Um,
Yeah, I mean, almost everyone knows somebody that's had a structure fire or that had one themselves. And as we were talking, that's kind of how I got into business. My house caught on fire from a chimney. So I do understand the danger, and we work every day to prevent that in other people's houses.
it's wonderful. So, what were your plans when you started your business, and how have they changed?
Oh, gosh, that's a great question. It was never what it is today, for sure. I remember when I first started the business, the advertisement about chimney sweeping said make $55 an hour sweeping chimneys. And back in the early 80s, that was a lot of money per hour. And I thought, wow, if I could do maybe 5 chimneys a week, that would be good extra money. So the start was to try to get busy enough and make some extra money. As it's grown, we do 300 to 400 customers a week now. We have 110 employees, and it has grown. I couldn't have ever seen it what it is today when I started. That was almost impossible. There was no chimney companies the size we are. But as we got into people's homes and we learned this business, people said, "Can you do this?" Or we learned more things that we could do in the home and more repairs and installations and demolition and restorations. And so now chimney sweeping is only about 7% of revenue, and chimney restoration and installation is the other 93%.
Wow. Yeah, that is a big change. That's incredible. Thank you. What is the biggest way that
Thank
you impact the community? I mean, obviously, besides saving lives, ultimately.
you. Well, I think we are in the, we help two things. We help make people's homes safer, and then we also help them make them more enjoyable to live in. So most everyone likes a fire in the fireplace. But as we know, unfortunately a lot of contractors, builders, handyman, people that really don't know fireplaces work on fireplaces, and sometimes they create more problems than they solve. And for us as trained professionals, we make the home safer and we make it more enjoyable, ideally more efficient, more warmth. Fireplaces, a lot of people have a lot of memories around fireplaces. Their whole, a lot of the holidays are around fireplaces. So we want to make that an enjoyable experience, warm, fun, and safe. And then ideally, some people use the fireplaces for heat, and it's a heat source for their home. We want to make sure that's as efficient as can be, burns properly, heats well, doesn't waste energy, and definitely is not a safety hazard as well.
Absolutely. That's perfect. And I think about last week in Wisconsin here, we had some severe storms come through and a lot of people lost their power. So for those that lost
Right.
their power, it created heat, light, everything, and probably a different family experience because they didn't have electricity or the internet. So they had to sit around the fire and talk, right?
It's a great point. Yeah, when all else fails, a lot of people's fireplaces are their fail safe to make sure they still are warm, have light. And you're right. You shut off the power, the lights, and the internet. You're going to actually get to know the people you share the living space with.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for that impact on the community as well. What is one
Sure.
challenge that you have faced that other business owners could learn from?
Well, I think our message to our kids has been overall wrong over the last couple decades, that you have to go to college, you have to get a degree to have a good life. The Mike Rowe and the dirty jobs kind of message, where we've been telling our kids, hey, you don't want to have to do blue collar work. Hey, you don't want to have to work with your hands and work with your back. It's better to not do that. And if you have to do that, so it's like a consolation prize. That's the wrong message. The right message is different skills and different things are needed for everyone. And also, your enjoyment of life isn't necessarily sitting in a cubicle under fluorescent lights. Sometimes it's you like getting out there and building something with your hands. You like making something and welding something and making masonry work, and being proud of the actual work you do versus paperwork or versus whatever. So my challenge is, a lot of people don't know how to do much work, and we get them, and now we got to train them from zero. And some of them really love the work, and some of them never do get it. So one challenge I have is that you can't learn this in school.
Sure.
A
Absolutely.
trade is something you have to be trained on. And so we have an apprenticeship program that we have to start everybody, because everybody starts at zero with me. Nobody knows how to do this. So I've had to develop a training system that makes them learn and apprentice in this thing. And then they can run a vehicle for us, run a truck, take care of customers. But the biggest challenge is I have to start everybody from zero almost.
That is extremely challenging. I never thought of it like that. I'm curious to know, with COVID and a lot of people losing their jobs and all of a sudden like reflecting and thinking, I don't want to sit behind a desk. I don't want to spend $200,000 to go to college and sit there. Have any older people come back and said, hey, I want to work with my hands and get back into this?
For sure.
Yeah.
Sometimes people don't get joy. They get joy from doing the work.
Mhm.
And definitely, I mean, our main hire is somebody that's 30 to 40 years old. Young kids are just trying to figure out what they like. Some of them like it, but some of them think there's, you know, greener pastures somewhere else. But our number one employee is about 28 to 45, has a family, has kids, has responsibility, wants to work hard, not afraid of heights, wants to be proud of what they do, and also the information, the knowledge that they have as a certified professional in our world. It's almost like a superpower. They have knowledge. They can save people. They can help you. They feel, if they get it, they feel proud of what they do, and they have a knowledge that's not common about chimneys and fireplaces and how it all works. And
Mhm.
so there's a pride factor that employees can get from helping people, and also having a knowledge that is kind of rare.
Interesting. That's really good that you know those statistics and you're who you're marketing for as an employee as well. So very smart.
Well,
What
we've won top workplace in Tennessee for the last 4 years in a row for middle-sized companies. So for us to attract people, we must have a good culture. I must have a good message. Nobody wants to sweep chimneys. Nobody's parents said, you know what, I want you to grow up and be a chimney sweep. That conversation has never happened in the history of the United States. So therefore, I'm fighting a battle always to get people that want to work for my company.
That's super, super interesting. So you said in Tennessee. So are you going to be shooting for Wisconsin to be one of those get that award as well?
Absolutely. I mean, we're only this is our second year in Wisconsin. We have a new crew up there. We're learning. We're learning Wisconsin. We're learning how they're all made. We're building our team. You go through some iterations of new people and startups. So
Mhm.
absolutely, we want to be the best workplace. of every state that we work in. We currently have 2 operations in Tennessee, Nashville, Knoxville. We have operation in Charleston, South Carolina, and we have one, our newest one is in Milwaukee.
Well, thank you so much. And what does the future look like for you? And do you have an exit plan?
So, there's always that, Jim Collins, start with the end in mind. So my main thing is to grow businesses. I have several other businesses as well as Chimneys. I do metal fabrication, powder coating. I have a chocolate business with my daughter, and
Oh.
so I love being an entrepreneur. So
Mhm.
my challenge is to build businesses up and basically hand pieces off so that so that it can work without me is the main thing. And so the future is more vacations, less work, more enjoyment of what we've been building, and also building other leaders up so that they have a future, have something that they've built and that they've contributed to, and ideally have really good living for them as well. So I love building people. I love building into people, and I
Mhm.
think that's exciting. So as the businesses mature, I get excited to see what other people can do.
That sounds like you're very much have an abundance perspective and you want the best for everybody else.
Oh,
So
for sure.
that's
We might go through a hard time coming up with the economy, but who knows? Nobody can predict that accurately. So let's just act like there's definitely an abundance. We're so fortunate to live today, even with all the stuff we've got. We got more good than bad. Absolutely, I have an abundance mindset for sure.
well, thank you for being that strong leader and passing that on to other people. That's really, really important. My last question for you is all subjects open. What inspires you the most?
What inspires me the most? So, what inspires me is to watch other businesses grow and succeed. I really like, I think you said you're in coaching and those kind of things. And um, I like, I love coaching and seeing people grow and giving them some tools or some ideas and let them grow with it. And but not everybody's meant to be a business owner. So those that aren't really wanting to be a business owner, I like giving them tools to be a leader or in their own way, but behind another leader. Because some people do not thrive oops, uh, sorry, I had another call come in. Can you
You're
see?
good. Yep.
Some people don't thrive as leaders. They need to be behind a leader. So
Mhm.
but you got to watch them and take care of them. I need those people with me all the time. They're super important. So they don't want to be the guy out front or the lady out front, but they want to be right there on the team. So
Yeah.
I like, helping those people have happiness and find joy in work as well.
That's really inspiring and that's really truthful. My dad's a hydraulic engineer by trade and they wanted to promote him into a leadership role. He's like, "No, I just want to work with pumps and create things." So you're
Yeah.
absolutely right. And it's almost like a cycle where they're taking care of you, you're taking care of that, right?
Oh,
So
I have to have them. They know that, but they need me out there with the machete, kind of making the new way, and I got to have them behind me, keeping the path clear, and saying, "Hey, we're getting off track. We need to take the machete to the right a little bit." So we have to have each other for sure.
absolutely. Well, this has been a really inspiring conversation. Thank you so much. If people want to get in touch with Ashbusters and actually use your services in the Wisconsin area,
Sure.
Tennessee, South Carolina, how would they do that?
So in Milwaukee, our website is ashbusterschimney.com, and my main hub is ashbusters.com. And then me personally, I do some I do some speaking and things like that. My website is markstoner.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We will definitely look into that and share all of that with our clients in our community.
Well, thank you for the opportunity to speak to you, and anytime, anything you need, please reach out.